Today, we generally think of the US, Russia, and China as the world's superpowers. In the past, Rome, Greece, and the British Empire come to mind. In this video, we'll discuss the first of these extraordinary world superpowers. Hi there, and welcome to Gimme 2. My name is Mark, and in this video, we will discuss the Persian Empire in just 2 minutes. As with my other videos, if you want to go straight to the 2 minutes, which discusses the empire's history, that is timestamped in the description. But if you stick around for a couple of minutes before that, I go through some of the empire's impact and lead-up that might be worth sticking around for. There have been a number of Persian empires, but for this video, we will focus on the Achaemenid Empire, which lasted from 550 to 330 BCE, spanned 13 kings, stretched from India in the east to the Balkans in the west and Egypt in the south, and may have contained up to half of the world's population. Other Persian empires, prior to the Islamic involvement in the region, include the Parthians and the Sasanians. Greek historians have tended to portray the Persians as a barbaric empire, and, as they say, history is written by the victors. And since the Greeks, under Alexander the Great, ended Persian rule, you do the math. Historical and archaeological accounts, however, paint the Persians, at least in the early going, as benevolent, fair, and egalitarian rulers. They denounced slavery and let everyone under their rule follow their own cultures, most famously allowing the Jews to rebuild the temple that the Babylonians had destroyed. The Achaemenid Empire revolutionized the way governments control foreign territories by establishing provinces called satrapies and local leaders called satraps. They created a greater road system, established a postal service, and standardized currencies, languages, and weights and measures. The empire had several capital cities, including Pasargadae, Susa, Persepolis, Babylon, and Ecbatana. With the rise of civilizations in and near the Middle East throughout the Bronze and early Iron Ages, a group of people called the Elamites established themselves for several millennia in the southwest Iranian plateau. They remained a powerful group in the region until the Assyrians sacked one of their main cities, Susa, essentially ending their rule. Elamite influence and culture, however, had already spread through the region, and several small tribes began consolidating into larger tribes, most notably the Medes and their smaller, more politically savvy cousins, the Persians. The Medes, with some help from the Babylonians, ultimately conquered the Assyrians, but were then conquered themselves by Cyrus the Great in 550 BCE, establishing one of the greatest empires the world has ever seen. Now that we have a bit of context on the empire, let's walk through its history. Before we do, though, if you find this content helpful, informative, or entertaining, please consider liking and subscribing to stay up to date with the channel and to help it reach broader audiences. But now, let's get back to the history of the empire. So start the clock now. Following his conquest of the Medes, Cyrus conquered the Babylonians, making the Persian Empire the largest the world had ever seen. Cyrus's fair policies earned him the name Father, or Liberator, and he's even credited for drafting the first charter on human rights, the Cyrus Cylinder. Cyrus was succeeded by his son Cambyses, who continued the empire's expansion, but he died young, leaving a brief reign to either his brother Bardia or an impostor. Bardia was overthrown by the ambitious Darius I, who greatly expanded Persian territories into the Balkans and North Africa. His reign also saw the beginning of a series of wars with Greece, called the Greco-Persian Wars, including the Battle of Marathon and Thermopylae. These continued through and largely defined the reigns of Darius's son Xerxes I and grandson Artaxerxes I. The century or so following Artaxerxes' death generally marks the slow decline of the empire. While there were some periods of relative stability, this time saw no imperial expansion and experienced revolts and instability as kings would fight for the throne. Some of the lesser kings, like Xerxes II, Sogdianus, or Artaxerxes IV, reigned for less than 2 years before being killed or overthrown. Some of the longer reigns, like Darius II or Artaxerxes II, saw stability at best, but were also marred by revolts and the loss of land, such as Egypt under Artaxerxes II. Following a succession of poisoned kings by a royal advisor, Bagoas, Darius III rose to the throne. Just 2 years into his reign, however, Persia was invaded by Alexander the Great. Over the next 4 years, from 334 to 330 BCE, Alexander swiftly and decisively ended the greatest empire to date. I hope you enjoyed that video. I learned a lot of information researching and looking into this empire, and I hope you did hearing me deliver it to you. If you did, please keep an eye out for other videos as I cover a variety of topics in similar fashion. Thanks so much for watching.